So I'm Sammy. This is Sounds Like Sammy, my YouTube channel, and the beginning of what I guess is my podcast called Nose Job. It's titled after an album that I'm making called Nose Job, and I'll be teasing a little bit of that for you today. But something I've been hearing a lot is that I was recently interviewed on a podcast by Robin Lasseter. Her podcast is Earth, a Love Story. And the episode I was on was titled Death, Nature, and Telepathy. So please go listen to that. But I've been told this before that I should have a podcast. And I was like, everyone has a podcast, whatever. Didn't really take it seriously. Was asked if I would ever want to share my experiences on Robin's podcast. And I was like, yeah, sure. But I wasn't sure about it. I know I'm a writer and musician, and I have some storytelling ability from that. But I don't know. I figured it was kind of like, we'll see. I'll try it out. I don't mind sharing my experiences. But the feedback's been, even before I got the feedback, I've been feeling like a pressure, or I don't know, like maybe I should be sharing more in this format. And my YouTube is monetized, and I was asking, I feel like I got to do more of that. What should I do? I have this opportunity. What should I do with it? And people kept saying, just make videos or a podcast or something. And I'm like, I don't know. I kept thinking like, nah, that no one cares. No one wants that. No one wants to hear me talk. And then the feedback that I've been getting from Robin's podcast is that they do really want to hear me talk and they want to hear more. So that's been weird to me, but confirming. So here I am. Kind of like last time, I want to share something that I wrote a while ago. So I'm going to read that. I'm good at talking like this too, but when I get to write, it makes it clearer. Like, I'm able to kind of process through a little bit better. And I know a lot of people say that, and it's just, I don't know, it's true. Maybe it's not true for everyone, but it seems to be true for me. Sometimes I do need to talk. Usually I have to talk about something a lot first, and then I write about it. And then when I go to talk about it again, it's clear, but it's a process. So what am I sharing right now? This is something I wrote a while ago, kind of about my experiences and my relationship to myself and why I was feeling a certain way. So I'll just get to it. I wonder if I felt so compelled to make content like this because I'm sick of being interrupted, misinterpreted, mansplained to, ignored. Who can interrupt me here? Sure, you can pause this, shut this down, stop hearing my words, but it won't erase them. When you pick this up again, I'll still be here, talking in sequential order, each sentence able to seamlessly follow up the previous with added flow of clarity, in case you missed my point the first time. In here, I can take as much time as I need to get my point across, to let you know exactly what I'm thinking and feeling. And you can't interrupt. You can't disagree until I'm done. You could disagree sooner, but to judge my story before it's over wouldn't prove a failure on my part. That one would be yours. I love this. But why do I feel so interrupted? Why do I have this sense of needing to scream at the top of my lungs until I'm red in the face? No, blue in the face, because my scream uses up all the oxygen around me. That's how loud it is. Why do I feel like this? I've noticed a trend lately of asking myself questions I already have the answers to. Somewhere along the way, I was taught to not believe in myself or my experiences. Somewhere along the way, I learned to stop listening to myself. It is clear to me why I want to scream. It is very, very clear. I've had strong intuition for as long as I can remember, but I didn't give it the credit it deserved. I'd meet a person and feel a pang of warning, followed by a thought of something's off, something's not right. But I was taught to believe thoughts like that meant I was judgmental or cruel, and I should blow past that and befriend that person anyway. So that's what I did. The stronger that pang of ick, the harder I would try to please the person. Who was I to judge them? I'm not Jesus. I'm not God. I'm not allowed to have these kinds of thoughts. That's what I was taught. That's what the church that I went to said. And I always wanted to do what I was told, what I thought was right. And I always did. So I thought. How easily an institution can brainwash a young girl into being a plushy, people-pleasing doormat. Okay. So this is something I felt for a long time. And coming from having weird, anomalous experiences and being taught to ignore them or to interpret them differently than how they were feeling, just kind of taught me to shut everything down, like my whole body down. So I do encourage you to go listen to Robin's podcast because I talk a lot about this there. But what I'll say here is just I was taught to disconnect from myself. I came from an atheist background, initially Christian as a little kid. My mom raised me in the church, and then kind of my own will, I switched my viewpoints to very cold scientific atheist. It just felt like what the church was saying wasn't right. It didn't make sense to me. There's a lot of contradictions. I hear this term all the time, don't throw the baby out with the bathwater, but that's exactly what I did. I'm like, because I found a couple issues, I just, nope, it's all garbage. None of this is real, and I didn't want anything to do with any of it. So I took that really sharp turn into atheism and was comfortable there for a long time. But I started having the same problem there that I had in the church, in the Christian church, which was it wasn't explaining everything. I was having experiences that fell outside of the explanations I was being given from both the church and science and atheism. And it forced me to figure out why. But the most shocking thing, I guess, that came from this was learning about death after my father passed when I was 14. He had something called Alport syndrome. It's hereditary, so my family and myself have it, but I won't get into all that right now. That can be for another time as well, but it's not as severe. It was more severe for my dad, but in me it's less, so I'm okay. But when he died, pretty quickly, weird stuff was ramping up. I had weird stuff before, but it got way more intense, way more severe. And not necessarily negative or positive. It's just, at first I was interpreting it negatively, and since then I've learned to interpret it differently. So now I really enjoy those weird things that happen. But at the time, I just tried to ignore it. No, like, that's not real. This isn't really happening. Completely gaslighting myself, not letting myself actually live in my present moment, because my present moment was presenting me with scenarios that didn't make sense given the context I was trying to believe in, if that makes sense. Like, I was forced out of the present moment, which meant I was forced out of awareness of my body. And in that state, I'm not acknowledging myself. I'm not acknowledging my feelings. I'm not acknowledging my own wants and desires out of life. And I was just so vulnerable to being taken advantage of. So vulnerable. So yeah, of course I want to scream. Of course I want to scream. Like, literally, these parts of me don't go away just because I'm tuning out of them. They're still there and they're screaming at me. It makes sense. And I ask myself, well, why do I feel this way? I know why. And that's the point I'm getting to now. I know why. I know what's going on with myself. I'm finally now letting myself admit that I know. Admit that, yeah, there's stuff going on that science and certain religions like Christianity can't explain, although some aspects of it can explain it, but not entirely. Same thing with science. Some aspects can explain it, but not entirely. There's more to the story. And I'm done pretending like it's not. Like, I'm done pretending like there's not more to the story. I'm done pretending that this stuff isn't happening. And I'm done ignoring my present moment, ignoring myself, ignoring what I know because it didn't fit with that other belief or doesn't fit with what other people around me want to believe. I guess it doesn't matter to me anymore what other people around want to believe. Keep believing what you want to believe. That's fine. That's fine. Do that. But I don't have to believe it just because you believe it. And what you want to be true, what you believe is true for you, what I believe is true for me, and we don't need to agree. We don't need consensus. The further down this path I go, the more I'm realizing that consensus is a little bit overrated. Again, validation's nice. That's nice. It's nice when I hear someone else say, yeah, I've experienced something like that. I love that. That's great. But I don't need it anymore. I don't need to rely on someone else validating my experience to know that it's actually happening to me. I'm the one it's happening to. I'm the only one that needs to acknowledge it, right? And I also don't feel the need to share my experiences with everyone. Like, I can. Like, if it's helpful, that's great. Which maybe that's why I didn't want to do this for so long, because the experiences are really personal, and I don't think that they're happening for me to run out and tell the whole world that because this happened to me, it means it's true for everyone. It's not necessarily true for everyone, and that's okay. It might be true for some people, so it's okay to share it, but I don't need to share it in a, I guess, like, I don't need to be a prophet. Like, that's not, I don't know, that doesn't sit right with me personally. But I no longer need consensus. I don't even know if I believe in consensus anymore. And we just don't all need to agree. I'm having a certain experience. I can talk about it. I don't need you to agree. You don't need to like it. You don't need to do anything with it. Do nothing with it. Do something with it. That's not my business. Do what you're going to do with it. I'm sharing it, I don't know, because it's acknowledging it for myself. It's deepening my own validation and acknowledgement. And if it helps someone else, that's awesome. If someone else can hear what I'm saying and feel validated in their own experience now, or feel like, okay, I can trust my experience now because I heard someone else say it. Like, I had that moment too, where I couldn't get to this point until someone else shared a similar experience, until someone else kind of could help me validate, because that's where I was coming from, a reality or, a society that told me I don't get to believe in something unless we all agree that it's real and true and happening. So I understand, like, we need that to a certain extent. I guess I'm just grateful I'm past that. I'm probably not fully past it. In this moment, I feel like I'm past it, but I'm sure it'll happen again. So, I could keep rambling. I guess it's my space if I want to ramble if I want it. Right now, though, I want to share a clip of a song from my album. Remember, that album is called Nose Job. Why is it called Nose Job? I went into that last time, so you can go back and hear that if you need to hear it again. I'm calling it Nose Job, but again, because I've got a full-size nose. That's what I call it, full-size nose. And being in the society that I grew up in, where a very particular nose has been seen as the standard of beauty, I obviously don't fit that, so that's kind of been interesting. But the concept of challenging that, learning to love my nose no matter what anyone else said, kind of started me down this path to realize all the other things that I love about myself and my own existence and experience that I actually do really appreciate, that I couldn't appreciate it because I wasn't even allowed to. I feel like I wasn't allowed to acknowledge it. Now I can acknowledge it. So just like I have to acknowledge the nose on my face, I'm starting to acknowledge my whole life and all the experiences. And that's what inspired my album, Nose Job. So this is the last song. I gotta make sure I'm playing the right version. I'll probably have to add it in here, but I'll just play it for now. Where is it on my laptop? I think this is it. Okay. This song really drives it home to where I'm at now and really kind of explains the other things. Like I started off, like the album starts off where I'm talking about how I look and my nose and how like the way people would treat me when I was younger and my response to that, and how getting to the point where I'm like, hey, I actually like my nose, so leave me alone. I don't need you to like my nose. I don't need you to approve of my face for me to enjoy my face. And I don't need to change my face to get your approval. I don't care. My own feelings about my nose is the only thing that matters. And then that eventually applying to my experiences in life and then my beliefs in life, which now is just fully wrapping around my entire existence. This is where I've arrived. So this is actually the last song on my album. I'm not going to play the whole thing. I'm so tempted to. I really want to. I'm really bad at holding stuff in until it's done. It is not fully mixed. That's why I really shouldn't. That's just a big no-no in music to share it too soon because not everyone can see the vision. So when I hear it, I automatically hear the end result, even if it doesn't sound like that yet. But, and my husband Rob taught me this lesson. Not everyone can hear it the way I hear it. He's good at giving me feedback sometimes, but when something's not done, he can't really, he doesn't know why it doesn't sound right. He just thinks it sounds bad. So, and this has a rough mix on it, so it's not bad. I just want you to hear the lyrics. So I'm going to play a certain part and then I'll read that part too. I know sometimes it's hard to hear lyrics in the song. We don't always process it auditorily the same way. But all right, I'm going to shut up and just play it now. By the way, this part, the jaw harp, that's me. I recorded myself. That's my vocals too, but that sound in the background is this, and it was me playing it. It's so fun. I'll have to do another video where I go into what the jaw harp is.
They told me where to go, they told me who to love. They said I'll never get it, so I should give it up. They told me who to be, they told me how to lose their stupid game that I don't wanna play. I wanna live away, and stay. Shutting down the world, I hear it stirring up, creeping in my ears. Whispers getting louder, louder, louder. I wonder who the sound is, my feet are getting grounded. Sensing how you feeling, what you think when you're around me. Touching all the plans, they wanna make me dance. The wind will tell you stories if you just give her a chance. Touching all the plans, they wanna make me dance. The wind will tell you stories if you just give her a chance. Just give her a chance.
I want to play that part so bad. I won't. I gotta save it. Maybe in another episode further down. And hopefully I'll have all the music mixed and polished soon. I'm not on strictly my timeline for that. I am working on this with a producer who's an engineer, and he's really good, and he's busy. So we just have to coordinate to tie up all the loose ends and get stuff polished and finished, but I'm working on it. Albums take a while. They take a while. Even if the lyrics come to me easily, getting it all done, staying coordinated, working with different people's schedules, takes a long time. But we're getting there. It's almost done. I promise. I promise. Yeah, no, it's almost done. So now I just want to read the lyrics in case that was hard to hear. That happens sometimes. So this is called But It's the Game I Play. It's the last song on the album. The lyrics are, they told me where to go. They told me who to love. They said I'll never get it, so I should give it up. They told me who to be. They told me how to lose their stupid game that I don't want to play. I want to live away, and stay. Shutting down their world, I hear it stirring up. Creeping in my ears, whispers getting louder, louder, louder. I wonder who that sound is. My feet are getting grounded. Sensing how you feel and what you think when you're around me. Touching all the plants. They want to make me dance. The wind will tell you stories if you just give her a chance. And then it repeats from there. So what does that mean? I mean, to me, it poetically describes my experiences in life from beginning up until this point. of, okay, being told where to go. Oh, you should go to college. You should go do this. You should live there. You should, oh no, stay with family. No, leave family and go travel and don't go to school. All the little things that they tell you to do, and it's all conflicting. They told me who I should love, like, oh, avoid this person. No, you shouldn't do that. You should get married. You shouldn't get married. You should have kids. Don't have kids. Same thing. They said I'll never get it, so I should give it up. That one is just about a creative career. Wanting to be a photographer, a writer, an artist. And I mean, everyone, that's just such an old story. Oh, you're going to do that? That's not realistic. Give it up. Give it up. It's never going to work. Just don't do it and do what the rest of us do and work miserable jobs. Right? They told me in that telling you who to be, which I'm interpreting this as, in my society, you are your career. Like that really gets so heavily associated when someone asks, oh, who are you? How often do people just start with, oh, well, I'm a real estate agent. Oh, I'm a recruiter. Oh, I'm an artist. Like we have to describe ourselves based off of the way we contribute to capitalism. And I don't like that. Maybe other people have different viewpoints on that, but they told me how to lose their stupid game that I don't want to play. To me, this feels like, the way I'm interpreting this line, I guess it's another commentary on capitalism, but it kind of feels like the lottery, like told me how to lose their stupid game. It's like telling me like, oh, contribute, and then you'll win. But will I really? It feels like the lottery in the sense that, is it really designed for me to ever win any money, or is it just designed for me to think I will and keep putting money in so other people can win money? That's what this means to me. I want to live away and stay. I want to stay away. I want to just exit this narrative, exit that world belief and stay, which I kind of feel like is the point I'm at now of realizing I don't have to participate in that game in the way that I've been told. Like I can kind of do things my own way a lot more than I thought previously. Like I really can. Like there's just more that I can do in my own experience. Shutting down their world, I hear it stirring up, creeping in my ears, whispers getting louder, louder, louder. I mean, I think that speaks for itself. That's just, as I'm doing that, as I'm exiting that consensus, I'm getting more of my own world. Like I'm having more of my own unique experiences that are, again, like really personal to me. And it's not something that if you were to go and have a similar experience where you kind of unplug a bit from that society or culture that you're in, you'll have something unique to you, I think. That's a theory. I don't really know. I know that this is my experience. This is what's been happening for me. Whispers getting louder, louder. I wonder who that sound is. My feet are getting grounded. This part is actually really interesting to me because I think one of the fears initially in believing my own experiences and actually looking at them was, oh, am I going to be like crazy? Am I losing myself? Am I going to be just lost in the clouds and, just whoosh, insane? And yet it has not. I felt more grounded, more stable, more like myself, more successful, just all around better. And I hear that from other people too, like, oh, you're so grounded. Even people that don't know, oh well, I have telepathic experiences and dead people talk to me. Even if I don't like tell them that, they don't know that. I think people think, oh, people that are like mediums and have those experiences and who believes in telepathy, like, they're nuts, and they have an idea of what that person is, what they look like, how they act, how they talk, and it's not. It's not true. I mean, there's no one way that a person that has those experiences presents or is. And I think that's part of how I personally just feel like that sense of feeling more grounded. I'm talking about telepathy, and I'm feeling more grounded. I'm finally admitting to myself that I get messages from people who have passed, and I feel more grounded. That's been pretty wild to me, but exciting. Like, I feel better. I just feel better. So I'm going to trust that. And you can think I'm nuts. I don't, fine. My feet are getting grounded, sensing how you feel and what you think when you're around me. That's telepathy. Touching all the plants. They want to make me dance. This is, if you follow me on TikTok, you've heard me probably talking about this, that I figured out a while ago. Oh, and it's in Robin's podcast. I talk about it. I have synesthesia, which is a sensory trait where my senses kind of blend. So hearing music will involuntary make me see colors and patterns and textures. I have to close my eyes to see it, except once, or no, twice I've done this in a deprivation tank, like a float spa, with my eyes open. And I wasn't actually listening to music, but I was like imagining music. And then automatically I did see displayed out in front of me colors and patterns that looks like my synesthesia. So that was pretty cool. But some people do have it where it's projected, and I don't really have that unless I'm in a sensory deprivation environment. But the idea to me, like what I'm experiencing, I'm realizing that it's consistent. It's not my brain just making up random things. It's every time I hear a certain sound, it looks the same. Every time I hear a certain song, it looks the same. There's patterns and there's consistency. And the way I've been interpreting it is that there's more information, like there's more going on in that song, and my brain's picking up on it. And can I interpret that? And what happens when I do? And that was a while ago. I was drawing songs, and I still do that from time to time, and it's fun. But I kind of took it from there. I'm like, what else can my brain interpret? Touching all the plants, I'm talking about synesthesia. Long story short, it worked. I saw information from my plants that helped me keep them alive and make them healthier. And I was able to kind of look it up and back that up and with Google. But again, I talk about this in Robin's episode on her podcast, so go listen to that if you want more info. But finishing up the song, yeah. Touching all the plants, they want to make me dance. That's a reference to my synesthesia and what I learned about plants. And lastly, the wind will tell you stories if you just give her a chance. This is about learning that nature is conscious and alive. In my experiences, that they're alive and can communicate. And I also just want to say, this isn't a new thing. Like, I'm not saying anything new. So many people, cultures, societies, indigenous cultures have known this and practiced this and have been working with nature this way forever. It's just new to me. And maybe it's new to you, but it's something that when I really started looking into these experiences and being willing to let myself acknowledge them, pretty helpful to find out that there are many, many, many people who are actively working with all this, because it did give me some framework to go off of, and it did help validate initially when I got going. So that's all I got. Hopefully my camera's still on. Thank you for listening, and I will, let's see, still going? Okay. I will keep sharing music as it's ready, and hopefully I'll have a release date for the album soon. But that just kind of takes time. I'm just waiting, working on tightening everything up, finishing all the last little pieces of it. Albums can take a long time, but we're getting there. I'll have it out soon. But let me know if you have questions. Is there something you want me to talk about? Something you've been wondering? I don't know if I can answer it, but I'll try. But you let me know. And thank you so much for listening.